It is on. Can you hear me a little better now?
Get one of those and you can
Okay.
sit what you like. Just get one of those now and you can sit there.
There you go.
It's funny how people don't like change.
Nobody likes change. I sit in the same place. When they moved the sanctuary, I was lost. I
And you know what
lost.
I've always but at the last year we've been doing something new. I don't get you. But anyway, so I haven't even been in here. So this is a treat for me to be in a sanctuary. Is a treat.
Instead of teaching.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
I welcome it.
Yes. I am just hoping to. Looks like we might be coming together. I do.
Tell me about your grandkids.
Oh my goodness, they are.
You may be going to do that in a minute.
No, I usually
You're on
don't.
the speaker now.
All right, so you're all wondering about my grandkids. I know you are. So let me just say, yes, I do have three of them. There they are. Everybody go, oh, you didn't see the picture.
boys.
Oh,
Aw.
two boys and the flossiest little girl you ever saw in your life. She may live in Indianapolis,
precious.
but she is so totally a Southern girl, it is ridiculous. She has bows bigger than her head. Yes, she has smocking that has been passed down at least 2 generations. Check. She had, what else did, bubble suits. She wears bubble suits. This girl is just doomed. She is going to be a little flossy girl, a little diva. Her first birthday is going to be at my house, and they're all coming down for it in June. So we've already begun to prepare. It will be ridiculous, and she will not remember it. We'll take pictures.
No, she won't. You'll have to tell her all about it, and then one day she'll look back and go, I remember I had first, she'll tell you all about it.
Because she saw the pictures.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
That is how it works.
Although there are
Exactly.
some people that say they can remember that part. I had one of our ladies in the church is a nurse. She said she had one lady that actually remembered
People, yeah,
being born.
yeah. Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's,
So, I don't know.
okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to go ahead and get started? Or?
No, let's give them a couple minutes.
Sure, you bet. Whatever works for you.
Them?
It's tough to get here in the rain.
Your seats up here? Your seat up here? You need to come where there's a pencil and paper.
If you can, yeah.
And there's still some chairs up front that have pencil and paper. Nice. She's not. Huh?
And you're
I'm
Jean.
Ellen Silver.
Ellen. That's right. One of my dearest friends is named Ellen Church. I should be able to remember that. Oh, we got littles and bigs coming along. So
I can tell you the strange lady that you're seeing up front talking to you and telling you about grandkids. This is Carole Hardin Oliver, and we're pleased to have her this morning.
You want to get a mic?
Yeah, I guess I better.
Here, you can take this.
Here's one, the orange one.
okay.
Turn it on. Okay, let's try that again.
Wow.
Lois, come on in. Please take a chair where you see a pen and paper up front.
If possible.
Or in any row you see it along here. There's some over here and over here. Well, I'll give mine up if I need to, so it's okay. I'll move this over. Come on down, Jane. And have a seat up here beside these ladies where there's a pen and paper up here in the seat. As long as there's pen and paper still there, please take one that has a pen and paper in the seat. Okay. I guess I didn't quite wait long enough. We have another one fixing to come in.
Absolutely.
But so you do know who you're talking about. This is Carole Hardin Oliver.
Yes.
And she's on the South Texas District. and we are pleased to have her this morning. But we can go ahead and carry on a conversation for a couple more minutes and before
Okay.
you begin.
So it's kind of cool to be here on Mother's Day. And
Yes.
I'm really enjoying it. And of course, I don't know about you, but I woke up to FaceTime with 3-year-olds, grandchildren, and I had actually stacked up the cards, and I didn't open it. This year I did not open them. I took pictures so the girls would know I didn't cheat. And I opened up all their cards this morning. I opened up the presents. Not one of them was chocolate, but it's okay. I will survive that because I bought my own, and I just in case for a backup. So I'm going to be okay on Mother's Day for my chocolate. So I feel
haven't gotten
good
mine,
about that.
so.
Oh wow! I think there's a chocolate buntini back there. You might.
Yes, I may have to try that.
You may have to grab that one. Absolutely.
That's right.
So Mother's Day is kind of cool, and I don't know about how you mothered your children and grandmothered your grandbabies and great-grandmothered your great-grandbabies, but so far, I have not won Mother of the Year.
I'm sure you are with your children, whether you realize it or
I don't
not.
know that I've been nominated. I'm pretty sure that I've been nominated for the other side. Worst mom in the 3rd grade.
That was when they were teens, okay?
That was absolutely the truth. But today, in this congregation right here and right now,
Your number
we
one
are
mom, you're
going
Steve.
to elect Mother of the Year.
Oh,
Mother of the Year will be getting a $25 Amazon gift card.
whoa.
Get your pens and pencils ready. Are you ready?
No, I have to go sit down.
Go, okay.
So I'm just going to tell you a little bit more. She is a mom of 2. She is the grandmother of 3,
Yes.
which we've already learned. But she's also a retired from, is it retail?
Retail pharmacy.
Okay, retail pharmacy. And she's also now free to do whatever God calls her to do on the district or wherever God places her or plants her. So she's working and doing that this morning, and we're the recipients of that, and we're very blessed. God bless you, and
Thank
welcome to have you.
Thank you. Thank you. Janet, did you? Okay. In that case, get your pencils out because it's time to earn that Mother of the Year. We're going to whip through this so fast, you're going to have to add up your scores. I don't know what's in your purse. So those of you who have, those of you who are tiny toters, and all you've got, you're going to lose, sorry. If those of you who have the great big giant, see in the back there, I have a backpack and a big tote. I probably would win this one, probably. Pull it up. Whatever it is that you've got, you have to just add up your points. And for those of you who don't carry purses to church, I apologize. You're just going to have to take a pass on this year. Okay, well, here's 1 point. For 1 point in your purse, you don't have to show me. You have to assure yourself, this is church. Don't lie. Okay, for 1 point, if you have a driver's license in your purse, give yourself 1 point. Got a phone in your purse? 1 point. Uh-huh.
Does it count if it's in my back pocket?
Yes. Good question. If you have it on your person,
Thank you.
you are welcome. Not in your car. It's on your person somehow, whether it's in your purse or it's on your person. Driver's license and phone. Do you have a credit card? Can I have it? No. Okay. Okay, nothing left on yours? Forget it. Okay, but lip balm or gloss of any kind, medicinal or cosmetic. Lip balm or gloss. You give yourself a point. A pen. Yeah, you all get that one because I just gave you one, right? Okay, next one is keys. Lord help you if you don't have your keys. It's going to be a bad day. Oh, no. Oh, man, there's your points. Okay, 5 pointers. You ready? Start adding up the points. You got mints in there? Mints. Any kind of mint. Gum would count. Tissues. Okay, this is the real world now. Hand sanitizer. A hair tie, scrunchie, clip, or barrette of any kind. The short hair group is going, no, we do not. No, we do not. Glasses, if they're on their face, it counts. It counts if they're on your face. 5 points. And here's something, a blast from the past. Safety pin. I know. Who has those anymore? I don't know. 15 points. Are you ready? 15 point. Go for it. Who's got the big dollars here? Water bottle. A whole water bottle in your purse. Do you have it? 15 points. Some kind of medication. Any kind. Doesn't matter. This one's 15 points. Each one of these. Now we're on 15 pointers.
So which one was 5?
There's 1-pointers. That's okay. 1-pointers were you got those right. The 5-pointers are mints, tissues.
5 points for each thing?
Each thing. You're going to be Mother of the Year, I can tell.
I need a refresh. I'm lost.
Mints, tissues, hand sanitizer, hair tie, glasses, and safety pin, 5 points. Yep. Yep. The water bottle, we're starting the 15-pointers. Are you ready? Water bottle, medication, a hairbrush, any kind of makeup, perfume.
Is a cough drop medication?
Yes. 15 points. The big dollars, 20 points. Now the math is at the end. You're going to hate that part. Chocolate, any kind, 20 points. Those of you who just stuffed a Montini in your purse, good job. Band-Aid, a family photo. It does count if it's on your phone. Family photo. Family photo. A drinking straw. And an old ticket stub from who knows what. Okay, last one. I know this is going fast. The whole thing's going to go real fast. All right. This strikes me as funny. Do you have an umbrella in your purse? Or on your person today? 25 points. You brought it in with you? I'll give you those points. Mother of the Year, go for it. A book. Electronic does count. If you have electronic books, you can count those. An extra, there you go. You get the Bible, points, 25 points for that. Should give you 50, but okay. Portable battery for your phone. Not just the battery that's in it, but an extra one for when you wear it out and you have to recharge it. Yeah. Okay, shoes. Shoes. Come on. Who hasn't had a pair of shoes in their purse because they had those 5-minute high heels on and they were wearing flats, but the shoes were in your purse? And you got to where you were going and you put on those 5-minute shoes and walked in like, I'm so good. No, okay. Well, if you had shoes in there, you get extra points today. Or mud, rain boots. Yeah, that would work. Okay, add up your points.
Can you go over like the ones?
The 1-pointers?
Really quick again?
Yep, I sure can.
was doing one.
Well, by the time I finish this, get your addition up and we're going to go for it. 1-pointers, driver's license, phone, credit card, lip balm, pen, and keys. 5-pointers, mints, tissues, hand sanitizer, hair tie, glasses, safety pin. 15-pointers, water bottle, medications, hairbrush, makeup, perfume. 20-pointers, chocolate, Band-Aids, family photo, drinking straw, ticket stub of any kind. 25-pointers, umbrella, book, portable phone battery, and shoes. Who has more than 100 points already? Good job, Mama. Good job. We have 5 mamas with more than 100 points. Do you have more than 125 points? Raise your hand. Oh, man. Somebody just dropped out. Okay, so I got 4 ladies over here. Anybody over here more than 125?
I'm still adding.
Okay, if you get to more than 125, you can jump back in. All right, 150, ladies. 2 ladies still hanging in there. Okay, 150. Are you going to be at 150? Caitlin, you going to make it to past 150?
I don't think so.
Okay, then let's go. What's your number? 155. And your number, ma'am? 195. Do we all agree? What is your name? Lois, Miss Lois, you are clearly the Mother of the Year. So anytime, yes, let's hear it for Mother of the Year. Good job, Miss Lois. You're welcome. That is an Amazon card. So Miss Lois, if you need help, just go to anybody under the age of 12. They'll tell you how to go do that. It would be awesome. So, well, welcome to a fun day here. Thank you for inviting me. This is delightful. I am so happy to be here, full of joy to be talking to somebody besides my husband and my dog. This is really awesome. But I want to bring a date to mind to you right now. Those of you who were born, if you were born before 1975, you're still in the conversation with me. Those of you who are born after 1975 are now looking confused. Yes, some of us were born before 1975, and October 24th of 1975 was an epic day. It is the day I fell in love with the country of Iceland. Does anybody remember what happened in Iceland on October 24th, 1975? This is not a quiz. Epic. All the women in Iceland, all of them, refused to do any work for one day. Guess what happened? The whole country closed down. Telephone, everything was down. They did keep on, they told them in advance. They got enough men in there to keep the electricity on and things like that, and the hospital staff. So no, don't think that they were being reckless, they were not. But they wanted to prove their point. Y'all cannot do it without us. So welcome to Mother's Day 2023. You are the most powerful force in this church. And if we all exited here and went down to the nearest Shipley's, the church would have to shut down. So here we go. All right, we're going to talk, if you'll pick up this fabulous thing that I have for you, Psalm 23. I'm going to be going through this. I do teach Bible a lot, and sometimes I'll teach just straight scripture, and sometimes I'll teach out of a book or a presentation. This particular psalm has always been my favorite since I was it was before I went to school, so I had to be less than 5 years old. And for an incredible prize, I memorized Psalm 23 at about 4 or 5 years old. And the prize I was after was you probably don't remember them. They were called Lucy Ellens. Anybody remember those? They were jelly, little jellies with crystal sugar around them, 5 different colors. We were so poor because my parents were still in school. My dad was ex-military. We were living in government housing. We are poor. We are poor. We did not have candy. I wanted that candy so bad. I would have memorized anything. So it happened to be Psalm 23, and to this day, it is one of my favorite psalms. So if you look at your handout, you have a copy of Psalm 23. It happens to be in the NIV, which is one of my favorites for specific reasons. But in my head, just know, it's King James. It's not ever going to be anything else in my head. It's King James. So when I slip up and I say the wrong word and you say, you did not read what was on that paper, it's my head going after it today. So how many of you have memorized as part of your spiritual formation, memorize Psalm 23? Okay, we should do some more points. How many of you have it? Yes, ma'am.
We did that in school.
Yes, yes.
We did that in school. We did the Pledge of Allegiance, then we recited
Psalm 23.
I had nobody in church.
That's right. You did it. Those days, I grew up in those days. I remember in the 3rd grade, it was my turn to read the scripture after the pledge. That was the day that they took scripture out of the school. And so I guess that's why I'm so focused on reading it now, because I didn't get my turn in the 3rd grade. So this is, how many of you have this in a frame, embellished or painted in your house somewhere? Somewhere in your house. How many of you embroidered this? Oh, we're going back a generation or two there. To have embroidered this is the ultimate in becoming a Proverbs 31 woman. Yay. Whoa, that's impressive. Psalm 23 is one of the most beautiful. So let's just read it, not to make it a big deal, but the Lord is my shepherd. I lack nothing. He makes me to lie down in green pastures and leads me beside the quiet waters. He refreshes or restoreth, because I'm going old school on you. He restoreth my soul. That's where I'm changing it to right now. He guides me along right paths for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil. Why? Because thou art with me. Amen to that. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely your goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Love it, love it, love it, love it. It is awesome. Did you notice something about that structure? And I'm going to be all nerdy on you, so just forgive me. I'm going to be all nerdy here. Did you notice the structure of that poem, how it's both wide at the top, then it narrows down like an hourglass? I didn't do that on purpose. It's built that way. When David wrote this thing 1,000 years before Jesus, he wrote it specifically in a format, and it goes from the top being wide to the middle being somewhat more narrow to the bottom being wide again. This is actually, if you turn to your next page, I think, if I did it right, there's 3 parts that you're going to see that this actually falls into very easily. The first section, the Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. He makes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He refreshes my soul, restores, guides me along the right path for his name's sake. It's a blessing. I am talking. Who's talking here? The person writing it. Do you remember who that is? Oh, absolutely. What was David's claim to fame? What was he? He was the shepherd boy. Where was he when the king called? He was out in the middle of nowhere tending sheep. He became the king. When he wrote this, he was the king. He wrote this as the king. But he and every other little boy in the entire nation state of Israel absolutely knew sheep. All right, how many sheep herders do we have in this crowd? How about 4-H? Did you or any of your kids have a sheep for 4-H? How stupid are they? Oh, you're laughing because they're stupider than you could have ever imagined. So why does Jesus, why does David continuously compare us to sheep? It's not a compliment. We're not. Sheep are, I have one experience with sheep. You want to hear it? It's brutal. Okay, it's not Silence of the Lambs. I was up in Wyoming, and I was on one of those high adventure geolocating. You're given a horse and a pack horse and a compass and some supplies, and you go from point to point. So I come up over, when this is in the Bighorn Mountains of Wyoming, beautiful, beautiful, incredible. Coming up over a ridge, the way you do in that kind of country, and you look down into this beautiful green pasture, and it's full of sheep. And a Basque sheep herder, who immediately hauls out his shotgun, points it directly at me, and shouts in some sort of weird language, something that is clearly, get away from here, because sheep are so stinking stupid. If I came up over that ridge with my horse, they would freak out, panic, and scatter and hurt themselves 1,000 different ways. So I slowly moved my horse and pack horse back down the ridge on the other side, and those sheep never saw me. But it was really close, and that's when I became aware of how really dumb sheep are. And we had to be warned. One of the people who was checking up on us to make sure we hadn't fallen or gotten hurt came by, and I told them about that experience, and they said, oh yeah. And they filled me in on a little bit more. So today when we talk about this, we're going to talk about the reality of sheep, not the sweet fluffy little lamb that's in the picture that was in my Sunday school class, but the real deal sheep, the sheep of his pasture that require the good shepherd. The first section here is the blessing. And yes, this is the sheep talking. Then what is the sheep saying? The sheep is saying, you have blessed me. That's the first section. You get a blessing. But then what happens? Let's go to the second section. What happens in the second section? Wow. This is where it gets dark, really fast. I walked through through the valley of the shadow of death, and I won't ask you for the details, but if you have walked through the valley of the shadow of death, let's testify this morning. Let's raise our hand and say, yeah, Lord, I walked through that valley of the shadow of death. I may be standing in it right now. I can see death and destruction here on my left hand, but I know you are here. Amen, you are here. I know that. I know that for a second. Want to know something else? Turn the page. And here's where we're going to go. Because the third part of this particular poem, because this is a poem written by David and set to music, is how he calls me his beloved. I am his beloved and he is mine. This is what the sheep hear. You. This is where the tense changes. I'm not talking about me anymore. Not me and how much my shepherd is the best. Not me and how my life can be really hard sometimes. Now I'm talking about you. I am talking about my shepherd. Is that he prepares a table, he rescues me, and he makes me. I am his beloved. I'm a sheep. I have a lot of bad habits, and I'm his beloved. Turning the page to the next, I left you two things. Number one, the name of this type of poetic composition. And again, I apologize. This is nerdy girl stuff. I love the names of things. I love knowing that this type of poem is a ring. What is it called? A ring? I had a ring composition because it goes around in a circle. You start out with a positive. Things are good. Lord is my shepherd. And then it falls into a bad place where I'm walking through the valley of the shadow of death. Then it comes back up. The Lord is with me, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. And then it goes, then that's called a ring construction. This is also one of our biggest struggles as women. There may be a woman in here that has not struggled with depression or anxiety, or maybe just overwhelming sadness. Maybe in your life you never actually said it's depression, I'm just sad. Whatever it is, there's probably not one in here that hasn't been through a time, whether on your own personal level or as you watch your family, you've not gone through a time. I'm hitting bottom here. I'm hitting bottom, I'm dry as a bone. You may have walked in here this morning dry as a bone, but you walked in here. God bless you for that, you're in here. This is actually God's response through David. Here's how you get through it, ladies. And those of you who have survived this long have been through cycle after cycle after cycle of those. Some of you who might be 11, 12, 15, and 19 years old, you may have very well been through cycle after cycle after cycle. You start out and life is so good, you're just a little fluffy lamb frolicking around in the green pastures. And then the bottom falls out. And then God rescues you. And the first time it happens, you're just so full of joy, you're jumping. You can't, it's wonderful. Because you can't, God has rescued me. Everybody needs to know about this. But then it happens again. And then it happens again. And all of a sudden, one day, God is going to say to you, because this is how I train you. When you get in that valley of the shadow of death, know in your head, know this. You're going to come out the other side. This is how it works. This is how I do it. This is how I lead my sheep. This is how I want you to live your life. When you get into that very, very bad section of life, know wherever you're standing, it's going uphill from here. It is going uphill from here. So that is the reassurance I find in Psalm 23. Going to the next page, I love haikus. Did anybody else, this is somebody who actually knows how to write them and writes them well? You know what they are, though. They're very short, they're very edited, and they're very specific. So here's what I didn't tell you, and the reason there's a blank on the other side is because as we talk a little bit about Psalm 23 this morning, you may want to jot something down along the lines of, I'm going to write a poem. Go ahead, write one. Write down the blessing that God has given you. Write down what is your valley of the shadow of death, and write down how you know I trust in you, Lord. You are my salvation. I will get through this with you. Write it down. That's your poem. Those 3 sentences, that's your poem. If that's your poem, you write it down. You can also write a haiku. I love haikus. The psalm is what's known as a haiku of intention because it is hyper-focused, very tightly focused. And here's how you write it. It has 5 parts. You can always look this up on Wikipedia, but I'm going to run through them real quick. Okay, you address, who are you writing this to? God, the Lord. We start right out there, the Lord. And then we come up with some attribute of God. The Lord is my shepherd. That's the first 2 parts. We got it in 3 words, 4 words. Acknowledgement of that divine attribute. Petition, what is it you are asking for? This one is a little bit wordier in the middle there, but it does. What is it? One thing you are asking for. So you have a blank spot on that haiku. You may have one thing that you're praying for, or you may be one of those people that keeps a double-sided laundry list of These are all the people I'm praying for. These are all the countries I'm praying for. These are all the things of the church. Here's the prayer list from the ladies group. Here's the prayers list from the missionary society. I'm going to pray through all of them. You go ahead. That's what God's called you to. God bless you and thank you. But if you're somebody who is like, okay, Lord, what am I praying about today? Or when are you going to take care of this issue? Put that one thing right there. One sentence. Just one sentence, the one thing, in the smallest number of words you can possibly manage. God, save my children. I'll go with that until it happens, till it goes. That's what you want. And then you put in there what you want to have happen. Bring them home to your house. And then you can beg and plead for a little while, which is awesome, but it has to be a very little while. You have to say something along the lines of, I know this can only happen through your incredible power, Lord. Thank you so much for that. That's a haiku. Y'all are ready to write them, I can tell. You got those pens ready. But anyway, take this one with you. You may find that you or somebody else wants to do this. Okay, so that being said, that is a start for where we're going to go. And you don't have any more pages. You're like, oh, you're done. No, now we actually are going. All right, let's see where we're going. Okay, we're going to turn back to the very front page. The Lord is my shepherd. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. This guy wrote a book who is actually a shepherd, a real shepherd. He's from South Africa. He had a district full of sheep, a district being some, I guess it's kind of like a big old ranch. So we're getting ranchers here. Ranchers will never tell you how many acres they have. That's how I know that my friends have got really, really big ranches, because they never, ever talk about it. And I had to go look it up. So if you do, this is a very large area. Thousands of sheep is what he had. He then left South Africa at some point and went to western United States and had sheep in the ranges, the same ranges that I was blissfully riding through and scaring sheep everywhere I went. So this guy wrote it, and it means a lot to me. I need to know from somebody who actually did it. Tell me what sheep really are doing. Is this not a compliment? Tell me what it really means. So we're going to dig in as much as we can, as long as we can. And I'm going to stop at some very unsatisfying point, because we've run out of time. And I'm going to close it. But if you would like, I can send this to your leader, and the rest of the information is on there, what I've written, and you can read it for yourself. And that will be available to you. So I love this. Okay, the tenant farm, this sheep herder that I talked to you about, he really was a real sheep herder. Next, in his district's right here, and then there's a fence. So if you're a farmer, a rancher, if you're a rancher, not a farmer, a rancher, you know those fences are critical. And you know that your neighbor on the other side of the fence may not be as good a manager as you are. Well, his first district of sheep, his neighbor next door was a tenant, not an owner. That means he didn't care. He was getting paid a wage to make sure those sheep were inside the fence. That was it. The pasture land was not taken care of. They were not wormed. They were not fed well. They were not sheltered. They weren't shorn when they were supposed to. They were pitiful. And those sheep would shove their little heads through that fence towards his green grass and his healthy sheep, begging to be let in. Of course, you can't. They're not your sheep. And not only that, they're full of disease. You can't let them in. So that's the most pitiful. I'm telling you. What I saw after Katrina and Rita, I was out in one of my areas that I covered was from Port Arthur all the way up to Jasper. And there's a road that goes up there if you're familiar with it. And as you go along that road, you go from Lumberton to Silsbee to Buna to Kirbyville. And then from Kirbyville, it just gets real, real small. But what I would tell you until you get to Jasper, what I tell you, abandoned animals everywhere. Emaciated, I'm not trying to bring you down on Mother's Day, but this is really sad. Just so that you understand, this is what the shepherds of those animals were doing. We have free will. God has given us free will. We get to choose. We are not bound by a fence that we can't get through. We're bound by a fence that we can get through. And the thing that is really difficult is, who do we want to be our shepherd? The Lord is my shepherd. I identify my shepherd. I choose. I choose my shepherd. My shepherd is the Lord. Who do you choose? Yes, yes. Are you going to choose another shepherd? Sometimes I do. Sometimes I do. And sometimes I choose me. And I think I can lead myself through something. Not a good choice, is it? You can return. The Lord is my shepherd. He will call me, and I will hear his voice. So who wrote the Lord of my shepherd? We've already agreed that it's David. We've already agreed that we are the sheep. It's not metaphorical. This is not a metaphorical poem. This is real. He wrote that thing to be real. Now comes the hard part. He says, I lack nothing. The Lord is my shepherd. I lack nothing. How can you, what do you think that means? That's exactly it. I don't need anything else. Would I like to have those super cute shoes over there with the bow on them and the little gingham checks? Yes, I would. I would love to have them. Do I need them? I have shoes on my feet. I lack nothing. When the Lord is your shepherd, you truly have no need. I am utterly satisfied. Are we in an age where people are content all the time, or is it just an age? Not only constant craving, but instant gratification all the time. We have to get everything we want. I love this one from Revelations 3:17. You may know it. You may have heard a song that goes along. This is Revelations 3:17. You say, I am rich, I have acquired wealth and do not need anything, but you don't realize you're actually wretched, pitiful, poor, blind, and naked. I know somebody in your life is running like this right now. They think they are all, I got a guy in my church, I love him. He's in that stage of life, he cannot make more money. He is wretched, blind, pitiful, poor, and naked. I don't care how many Range Rovers he has. It's bad. Well, he'll turn around, I know. John 16:33 says, you will have trouble. Take heart, I'm not with the world. We may lack the things of this world, but with the shepherd, say it again, we lack nothing. We lack nothing. He makes me to lie down in green shepherd. I already told you about that Basque sheep herder. I mean, he had his shotgun out. He was going to get to me before I came over that rim. He was just threatening me. I really don't think he would have shot me. Pretty sure, maybe. Maybe over my head, I don't know. But sheep will not lay down and rest. Sheep are ruminants. That means that they're like cows. They lay down and they redigest their food over and over, which we're all familiar with that. They will not lay down unless there's 4 requirements that are met. You have to have all 4 of these things. A sheep herder has to take care of these, or that sheep will not lay down and digest its food, and it will get thin and weak. Number 1, they have to be free from fear. If they're scared, they don't lay down. They get up and run around like idiots. If they have to be free from fighting with each other. If there's somebody sitting next to them in the pew that they don't really like, they're going to get up and start moving around. Or if they're having some sort of squabble with their neighbor, they will not rest until that squabble is resolved. Here's the thing. They have to be free from bugs. I'm an Instagram fan. I love Instagram to bits. And there's just one little video reel that goes, you're bugging me, you're bugging me, you're bugging me. Have you seen it? You're laughing so hard. I swear you must have seen it. Yeah, that sheep will not lay down. If they are infested with parasites, they cannot rest. Whether it's fleas, ticks, whatever it is, they're not going to lay down until they're free. You can't be bugged. You cannot rest in the Lord unless your bugs are gone. And they have to be free from hunger. A hungry sheep will not lay down. There's nothing for them to digest. So are you resting well right now? Is that too personal? Do you sleep well? Are you getting rest when you wake up in the morning? Are you like, ta-da? Me neither. Okay. So what's bugging you? What is bugging you? The Lord is your shepherd. Bring it back to him. One of my 4 requirements isn't met. What do I need to do here? So here he goes. He makes me to lie down in green pastures. Why does he have to make us lie down? That still gets me. He leads me beside the quiet waters. Oh, yes. Road trips. Gotta love them. I love road trips, and I force my children to go on them with me and the dog. It's amazing. I am a huge fan of Love's truck stops. Are they the best? I even put the app on my phone so I can go from one Love's to the next Love's to the next Love's. I never miss a Love's because why? Have you gone to some of these other gas stations on the highway? They're so gross. There's not a Buc-ee's everywhere. So once you get out of Texas, it's hit or miss. Love's. Get on Love's and you're probably going to be okay. The restrooms are clean. That's me. You talk about water, I'm talking about restrooms. That's exactly how that's going to work. Knowing where to stop when on a road trip makes all the difference in the world. So the same for the sheep herder. The Lord, who is my shepherd, he knows where all the good stops are. He's going to keep me away from that no-name truck stop with the disgusting restrooms, and who knows what that sketchy guy behind the counter has been doing. He will absolutely, the Lord is my shepherd. He knows the rest stops. If he says, keep going 10 more miles and you'll be at Lake Catherine, I can hold it. I can wait. I can follow him. I can trust him because he knows where the rest stops are. That's my real life. My real life is like, how do I get someplace, Lord, when I'm so dry right now? Keep going, Carole, keep going. I'm going to take you to someplace where it is going to be quiet waters that you can drink deeply. So how thirsty are you? How desperate are you? Sheep are so desperate, the disgusting things that they are. Sheep are so desperate. If there is a clear river over here that the sheep herder is trying to get them to, and there is a disgusting mud hole right here, full of worms and gross stuff, guess what they'll do? Because they will not trust, unless they have to trust the shepherd. But we'll get to what he's going to do in just a minute, because I am going to make it all the way. He restores my soul. Now, testify again. You ready? Christians never get depressed. Christians never suffer in any way, nor do we ever allow trouble into our lives. Is that true? Well, that's pretty unanimous. I guess that's not true. Why do we not need restoration then? We struggle with these things like anybody else. Yes, we do need to be restored regularly. Psalm 42:11, one of my all-time favorites, also written by David. Why are you downcast, O my soul? Do you love that one? Oh, I love that one so much. Why are you disturbed within me? Have you ever been so horribly miserable that you shouldn't even know what to do with yourself? What does he say to do? Hope in God. Get over yourself for a minute. Hope in God. Just turn it over. But you don't know what's going on in my life, Carole. No, I don't. I only know what's going on in your life. But I know in my life. I know that God said this is the way it is. So we do get downcast. Now, sheep and horses share a characteristic being called cast. If you've got horses, you know they can get cast in their stalls. If you've got straight in narrow stalls instead of box stalls, horse gets in there and lays down, they can get cast. You either have to take the wall off of the stall or cut the horse up into little pieces. No, we're not going to do that. So you have to be careful when you have these creatures. Sheep, what sheep do is these ridiculous. You're probably going to laugh because it sounds funny in your head, but it's deadly. When a sheep gets cast, what happens usually, there's a soft grassy spot right here, so comfy. It's that big chair by the window. It's just perfect. The sheep get into this little grassy spot. The sun is just right. They can reach the food without having to get up, and they lay down. Now remember what a sheep looks like. It's this big bundle of wool like this with four little toothpicks coming out this end. So they get over on their side, and their center of gravity shifts, and the next thing you know, those 4 little toothpicks are up in the air, and they're pawing the air, and they cannot. It does. It sounds funny. But remember, they're ruminants. That's 4 stomachs. One of those stomachs immediately begins to fill with gas, and they start bloating. And if the sheep herder, the sheepman, doesn't come and get them and put them back on their feet, they will die. That sheep will die. And who knew that? I did not know that before I took this particular sheep tour through it. A cast sheep is ugly. It is actually going to die. And you know how you know where they are? You know how one of the ways the sheep herder knows where they are? What? Well, you can smell them when they die. Well, how do you know where something's struggling? The vultures. Sheep herders get up in the morning, they go out and they scan the sky. They see vultures circling over there. They go over and they start counting the sheep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And they get to 99. Where's that 100th sheep? And off they go. I got to find my 100th sheep. I got to find my 100th sheep. I got to find them. And they do. They go right to where those vultures are. Isn't that awful? Life is so difficult. They're looking for a soft, cozy spot. The next thing they know, they're in danger of dying. But the sheep herder, the Lord, is my shepherd. Not only does he get me back on my feet, he knows that I have 4 stomachs. He knows that that gas is poisonous to me. He will put me back on my feet. Then he'll put one leg on either side of my fluffy self, and he will keep me straight because those sheep are so sick that they stagger and fall down again. And he will keep me straight until I'm back with the flock. That's the true picture. This is what every one of the Hebrews who read this psalm knew, because they knew sheep. That picture was in their head. The Lord is my shepherd. He restores me. He guides me in path of righteousness. And guess what we're going to have to do right now? Push pause, because it's 10:30. And I wish I could keep going for you. I am going to tell you one more thing. And I'm going to read you a psalm, and you're going to hate it. So if you're ready, I'm going to ask you, do any of you listen to KSBJ here? Okay, so you may have been on the radio in 2007 when the Sky Angel called in. Do you remember that? Logan, the Sky Angel, little 6-year-old boy, lives in Nebraska. Yes. I was one of the people who, yeah. So Logan, the Sky Angel, in 2007, calls up KSBJ because his mother was too busy to talk to him. She said, "Get ready for school, Logan. I'll talk to you about this later." Logan had to go out that morning to the calving barn and put down his favorite calf. It had broken its back, and it could not be salvaged. And Logan needed to talk to somebody. They listened to KSBJ on satellite or something up in Nebraska. He calls KSBJ. "You should listen to it. It's heartbreaking." Little 6-year-old boy. And he says, "I had to put down my calf this morning." What nobody heard on our side was his mother was actually still in the room. Over 1 million people heard from the KSBO radio, heard Logan, and they immediately told all their friends. And by mid-morning, they had crashed the station's website totally, completely crashed it. And not surprisingly, they invited Logan and his mother to come down to Houston to do sort of a call-in show with Sky Angel and anybody who wanted to talk to Logan. The kid's incredible. He's 6, 7 years old. Now he's probably 2007. Okay, somebody do the math. He's a full-grown man by now, but he was incredible. He was praying with people. He was just testifying with them. He was heartfelt, just struggling with them. He was amazing. And again, what you didn't know was that his mother was in the room. Now, I don't know your status. All of you are daughters. Some of you may be mothers. Some of you may be adoptive mothers. Some of you may be mothers of children that did not survive. Some of you may be waiting for your children to arrive yet, and they haven't. Some of you may be the mothers of a Sunday school class, or the mothers of neighbors who don't yet know the Lord. You may be, but you're mothers. That's how God made you. You're all mothers. Imagine that you're Logan's mother standing in the doorway of that radio station, listening to your 6 or 7-year-old child talking to people about Jesus. Maybe that's part of your story right now. Maybe you have a child who is just so much more that you're asking God, how do I do this? How do I be the parent? How do I be the mom of this child that you've given me? How do I do this? How do I be the mom of a child who is now at your side, who's no longer with me? How do I be the mom of a child who has gone away and chosen a path in this world that is destructive? How do I be the mom of that child? How do I do all of this stuff? Well, each one of our journeys is precious. The message that I'm bringing you this morning from Psalm 23 is not from me. I will tell you this is from God. This is straight from his heart. And I don't make up words like this, so I know he said it. He said, keep on momming. Just keep on. Keep on being the mom. Keep on supplying. Keep on pulling stuff out of your purse that nobody ever expects. Keep on loving. Keep on praying. Your job is not over yet. Those of you who are my age, and maybe even a little bit more seasoned, it's not over yet. Keep on momming. Wherever you are in your life journey, even if it's on the very beginning, keep on momming. This could be the very beginning of your mom journey for somebody else. You have so much more to give. There is so much more that he wants you to do during whatever length of time he has for you to do. This is what I bring to you this morning. The encouragement to keep on being the mom, because the God of Psalm 23 knows us all, and he will give us all the strength. We are deeply beloved, and so much more. So thank you again, ladies. Can I pray over you for just a moment? Father, there's no reason and there's every reason that we are all here this morning. Each reason is completely different, and none of us is adequate to deal with them, but you are. So we breathe in and we ask for your help, and we breathe out and we say, we trust you. With every beat of my heart, Lord, I ask you to be present in our lives. And with every exhalation of my lungs, I say to you, thank you that you never leave us or forsake us. And we will, amen, dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Amen. Okay, thank you very much.
Amen. Thank you so much for coming. God bless you, and good luck.